Hello, this is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. We've actually made 4 videos on the Crowsnest Pass Highway in southern BC and southern Alberta. The first 2 I made went from the Alberta-BC border west to Hope at the end of the highway toward Vancouver. And these other 2 are on the Alberta section from the Alberta-BC border eastward through Lethbridge and all the way to Medicine Hat. And this video is on the section between Lethbridge and Medicine Hat. We will leave Lethbridge and go by all of the towns on the way to Medicine Hat. The first one is little town of Coaldale, then Tabor, Purple Springs, Grassy Lake, Bow Island, 7 Persons, and finally Medicine Hat. We are rolling out of Lethbridge, and the land is flat, the sky is big, and the highway is busy with big farm and industrial truck traffic. Being near a larger center like Lethbridge has resulted in considerable growth in the first little town of Coaldale. There is a birds of prey rescue station here, but it's agricultural. This is the McCain food plant, part of a huge international corporation where the plant here at Coaldale specializes in frozen potato products. This plant employs about 225 people and is another example of the huge plants you see along the highway. This is a huge inland grain terminal with built-in grain dryers. It draws from fields from 100 kilometers away and can fill 56 railway cars at once. There are many buildings, I'm not sure what they are, but many warehouse type buildings. Just look at the size of this warehouse here. I don't know what's in it, but probably crop of some kind to keep out of the weather and elements. Here's another big plant along the highway. Looks like it's a sugar beet plant. Look at the piles of sugar beets outside of the plant, and the trucks lined up to bring them in and haul them away. It is fall, and this is a field of pumpkins. Big operations. Halloween is coming. Tabor corn is another well-known crop. Often you would see farm machinery of all kinds for sale along the highway, on display for people to buy big machinery. It is big agricultural country and modern agricultural country as well. The old days of small farming are over. Huge grain elevators and storage areas and industrial plants are common along the Crowsnest Highway. It is a busy corridor, and they are widening the highway in places. It's a good 2-lane road all of the distance, but they're making it into 4-lane as quick as they can, especially in some parts. It has a lot of heavy car traffic and big truck traffic. We are in the Palliser Triangle. This part of southern Alberta and Saskatchewan once declared unfit for farming. That was before modern technology and the development of irrigation. Water has made this rich. 13 irrigation districts deliver nearly 2 million acres with water and provide 55,000 full-time jobs. The warm spring climate, long growing season, and fertile soil only needed one more thing, and that was water. Today, there are nearly 8,000 kilometers of canals and 45 storage reservoirs in this area. 60% of the water is delivered through buried pipes where there is no loss by evaporation and no seepage. In early days, 80% of the water was delivered to fields by surface flooding with lots of runoff. Now only 5% is delivered this wasteful former way. High efficiency sprinkler nozzles add to the farming modern efficiency. The former historic huge ranches have been replaced by concentrated feedlots. Livestock include cattle, hogs, and poultry. Main crops include wheat, barley, hay, cereals, and specialty crops like oilseeds, canola, beans, potatoes, sugar beets, and garden vegetables. The wind blows here, and you see these big power turbines. The main advantage of wind power is the high energy yield. Just look here, solar power, by comparison, is only 20% versus wind power at 50%. At the bottom here, one windmill will provide enough electricity for 940 houses. Or in one day, a windmill will provide enough electricity for a home for 1 year. But nothing comes without a price. Let's take a look at some of the drawbacks of wind power. The 20-year lifespan of those blades, they are non-recyclable, basically. And what do you do with them? Number 2, electromagnetic interference occurs from the turning of the blades. Number 3, vibrations have been noticed. There's the noise factor from vibrations, and they have found that in some cases the groundwater goes away due to the turning of those mills. It must shake the groundwater away. Visual intrusion along Highway 3 along Pincher Creek. They've stopped building windmills because they interfere with the beautiful mountain scenery on the horizon. Number 5, wildlife destruction. There's no doubt about it. They kill hundreds of thousands of birds. And bats, they have found piles of bats, dead bats, at the bottom of the windmill poles every morning. Now, in the case of bats, maybe they don't fly so much in the high wind and birds don't, so that's a good time to run the windmills. Maybe there has to be a schedule worked out. The shadow flicker factor is a disadvantage. Those turning blades throw a shadow each time they come by. And if that shadow comes continually over your house or in your yard, it's very annoying and unsettling. And finally, it's big business, big money. There is little local ownership involved thus far with windmills. Let's get her back on the road. Grassy Lake. The lake was drained years ago. In Bow Island, besides the big bean plant, you see evidence of another resource that made this part of Alberta so productive, and that was the discovery of rich gas fields. And we will see how they contributed to the huge greenhouse industry in Medicine Hat. Alberta has produced up to 80% of Canada's natural gas, and there is a large and sophisticated infrastructure of pipelines and storage. And the gas, of course, is used for heating and for power generation. 20 kilometers west of the Hat is the small community of 7 persons, named after, apparently, 7 bodies found along the creek. 7 Persons Creek runs to Medicine Hat, where it flows into the South Saskatchewan River. Medicine Hat tourist information is near the junction of the Crowsnest and Trans-Canada highways, identified by the 60-meter-high Sawmas Tower here. Almost like a 20-story building. Above the 49-meter base are the plaques that tell about Indigenous stories and information and culture. We are halfway between Winnipeg and Vancouver here, and record temperatures have run between 42 degrees Celsius in summer to a minus 46 degrees Celsius in winter. A medicine hat was named when a medicine man lost his headdress during one of the many battles in the early times between the Cree and the Blackfoot people. Historically, the key industry here was Medalta Industries. The MED, Med for medicine hat, and Alta stood for Alberta. It used the clay soils along the river to develop a nationally recognized clay pot and pottery industry, with the kilns fired from the nearby rich natural gas deposits. You can still buy some pottery there, and it's a great place for a tourist to visit. Today, natural gas fuels a huge greenhouse vegetable operation that Medicine Hat is known for today. The modern greenhouses grow a variety of vegetables for export. Just look at the quality of these vegetables, fresh off the vine. The section between Lethbridge and Medicine Hat is open prairie country, a little bit different than the western section where you get into the mountains. And as you saw, it's a lot of agriculture and modern agriculture and a busy place. Hit the subscribe button and that'll tell you when we're putting more videos on the internet. And until then, we'll see you down the road. This is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. If you want to see some more places and hear some stories about them, just Google in the blue there my channel on YouTube. Google at Don Barnett 5090. Click my name, hit the word playlists in the middle of the page, and scroll down. Each playlist contains several travel videos.